Well, to kick it off, do you think maybe you could just say your name and kind of introduce yourself a little bit and what your role is with
Sure.
the brand, things like that?
Yeah, so my name is Kieran Scott. I'm the brand president of Patio Patrol and Pestmaster, two of the pest control companies inside of Threshold Brands, which is a home services aggregator in the franchise world.
Love it. Awesome. Well, let's dive in. So, first, can you tell me how did you get into franchising to begin with?
Yeah, sure. So I got into franchising when I was 14 years old. I started working at Subway restaurants inside of an amusement park in Utah. And I worked for Subway from 14 until I guess 22, 23. And just through that time, I became, I was a sandwich artist at first, became kind of a shift leader, assistant manager, area manager, and then director of operations over 12 Subway units uh, inside of kind of Salt Lake City, greater area.
Awesome. Cool. Um, and I guess you might have just answered this, but to reiterate, how old were you when you first started, and what were some of the biggest challenges when you first started with Subway? What were some of the main, issues and challenges that you faced early on?
Yeah, so I was 14 when I started working at Subway inside the it's called Lagoon Amusement Park in Utah. And I guess some of the biggest challenges were just kind of like the adapting to the work-life balance, working, school, and also family at the time, and just kind of integrating that into my life. But it was something I found really enjoyable.
The next question here is, what is one thing you would tell someone about yourself, or what do you think is the most interesting thing about your background or kind of your story so far?
Yeah, good question. So I'm actually an immigrant. A lot of people don't know that I'm an immigrant. I've been in the United States for 20 years, but I originally was born and spent the first 9 years of my life in the UK, and to this day still hold British citizenship.
Cool. That's awesome. Um, I guess in your franchising career so far, what would you say is a milestone or accomplishment that you're particularly most proud of?
Yeah, so the milestone or accomplishment I'm most proud of is probably my work that we did at Scent Hound, which is a wellness-focused, membership-based dog grooming company based out of Jupiter, Florida. Um, I started there right after I left Mosquito Joe. We had 0 franchise units, 4 company-owned stores, and over kind of 3.5 years, we grew it to over 125 units sold, like 35 units open, with 6 company-owned units in addition to that. And so that's probably the biggest achievement that I have.
Yeah, that's great. That's awesome. And I guess, jumping to today, what are some of the goals that you're currently working on? What's kind of your current mission right now?
Yeah, so inside of the pest division, kind of at Threshold, we've got 2 companies. So Patio Patrol, which is mosquito abatement to the home, and then Pestmaster, which is a full service pest control company. Both have recently kind of undergone a rebranding effort, right? So Patio Patrol went from being FlyFo into Patio Patrol, and we added some additional services there. And then Pestmaster, we're sticking with the name Pestmaster. We love that name, but it's got a 43-year-old logo and 43-year-old visual identity. So it's time for a refresh. And so those are 2 of the big projects. And then through those projects, what we hope to see is kind of increased franchise development efforts, leading to more franchisee signings, leading to additional revenue, which over the next 5 years should provide kind of incremental increases to us.
Yeah, awesome. The next one, I guess, is a little more broad question here, but I'd be interested to hear, what do you think makes someone a good fit for the franchise industry? Or, are there any traits that you have recognized or shared by successful franchise professionals, franchisees, franchisors, really anybody in the industry?
Yeah, so I'd say the most successful trait or kind of a successful habit that I found in franchisees is they're recipe followers, right? Like when you enter a franchise world, the recipes are already there for you, right? And so you just have to follow them, and then you end up with the end product you're supposed to end up with. And I found the most successful franchisees, they follow the recipe, and they bake the cake the way they're supposed to, rather than trying to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, well said. That's a great quote. Well, the last one we have here, kind of building off that, what advice do you have for other young up and comers in the franchising space?
Yeah, I think the advice that I'd give to others is probably just focus on the franchisees and the end consumers first. People matter a lot. And when you focus on the end product, right, the actual product that you're putting out to the consumer, and then you focus on franchisee profitability, the franchisor's job gets so much easier from that point of view because the customers are happy, the franchisees are making money, and then the royalty dollars start to follow through. If you kind of enter the franchising world only focus on royalties, it's kind of a recipe for disaster. And so I'd focus on kind of like going the bottom level up.
Yeah, well said. Awesome. Amazing, Kieran. Well, this was perfect. Thank you so
Great.
much for talking with us today.
And sharing your story.
Of course.